Hello, friends and fans, and welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. In this episode, we are analysing Chapter 5 of The Quarry. I'm your host, Jack, and as always, I'm here with Liam.
How's it going?
So, guys, this chapter, you start off with Nick and Abby, and obviously, given the events previous where Nick was attacked, he's a little bit worse for wear, and Abigail is looking after him and sort of tending to his wounds, you could say, and they're having like a slight heart-to-heart. But before we go any further, mate, there's something I've got to reveal to you here that's relevant to one of the pathways. So something that Abigail says when she sees Nick is that she's forgot her bag, meaning she doesn't have the teddy. Now, I don't know where this bag was or how on earth I lost it.
Disappeared? What do you mean disappeared?
But I'm assuming that this teddy is completely irrelevant at this point now. So, was it the same for you?
Yeah, I lost the bag as well because I was looking at the clues like the moment this chapter loaded up. So it was telling me, I was like, oh, new clue. It says I lost my bag. You get that the moment you load the episode up. So I was just thinking like, hang on, no, I haven't. Is this going to happen in the sequence coming? So yeah, a bit of an awkward one. I don't really know if there's a way to change that or not. I don't know what the teddy would have been used for. I also had a theory that maybe later on when, that cabin you find the teddy in is being found again and there's an animal lurking outside, I thought maybe it's to do with removing the threat there. But yeah, I think just on later completions, I'm just going to have to dig and find out for that one.
Yeah, so obviously Kaitlyn then comes in and they hear some noise upstairs, at which point Kaitlyn says, right, I'm going to go check it out. I know you get a choice. To be honest, I don't think it really matters, but I think your plan is Nick, right? And he says, oh, you can either be cautious and say, don't go and leave us, or you can, say, yeah, go on, go check it out. I'm pretty sure I took the more cautious approach, but I almost did that knowing that she was going to go off anyway. But you know what? Like this particular sequence, I did enjoy it because it was almost like a stealthy sort of thing where you're creeping along. She knows that Bobby's there, and there's like a couple of QTEs and stuff. However, I almost had to pull myself out of this scene a little bit because I was suddenly remembering, you know what, I do actually trust the hillbillies here. So by the time it got to the point where you have the don't breathe segment, I purposely failed it because I was like, no, I want Bobby to cover her in blood because, obviously my theory being that the blood protects you from the wolf. So I purposely failed it, and they was having a little bit of a conflict, just like a couple of QTEs and stuff, and then he gets distracted or something, and then she runs off and goes back to the guys, and then they all decide to get out of there, and I'm sat there thinking, no, like hang around with him because he might all just cake you all in blood, because some of the things that he's saying on the radio is like, oh yeah, no, we've got 2 of them now, we just need to get the rest of them. I think it's meant to make you think it's sinister, but it's not. I think they literally say at one point we need to blood them up. So I was sort of like, they're not a threat. But anyway, for me, how it plays out is they do encounter Bobby again, and then Nick then just runs into him and starts to lift him up by the neck. And I purposely failed the quick time event because I was like, no, I don't want him to kill Bobby, and obviously Nick's getting like super strength at this point, so it looks like that he's turning. And at which point they then all leg it out the window, and just Bobby's sort of sat there coughing and recovering. Any different, mate, in your playthrough?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the whole thing you mentioned about Nick turning, because I thought that might happen before when they didn't amputate his leg. I was like, Nick might turn, and then obviously we find out he starts to, and you can kind of tell, can't you, when he's lying there with Abby and his attitude slightly changes, very, unlike Nick, who's this usual mellow character. But yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I'm actually really glad that you deliberately failed the QTEs with Bobby, because I was tempted to, because I also trust the Hillbillies. Yeah, I didn't. I thought I'd lean into the game, complete the quick time events, do everything, that was presented on the screen. And it's interesting because you hear Bobby, talk on the radio to Jedediah saying, like you say, it tries to make you think it's sinister, but we know it's good. Where, what is it he says? Oh yeah, like, find them and get them, like, bloodied or something, which, could sound really morbid, but obviously it's supposed to be a good thing. But yeah, I snuck really, like, as well as I could have. I passed all the don't breathe sequences. Unfortunately, though, Bobby still does find you, no matter what you do. At the end, you have to run away, and then he'll be there, and you dodge him, but he nicks your gun. I don't think there's a way of changing that. I think Kaitlyn has to lose her gun, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me, actually.
Yeah, but either way, though, like, we successfully hid and we snuck out. But I was there wondering what happens should have I failed that, because I want to be covered in blood, like you said. But yeah, I guess this bit might be quite linear, because it all just seems like everyone leaves unscathed.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there was something I missed out. Kaitlyn did get covered in blood on my one. Where I was failing the QTEs, I think he throws it at you. And I purposely missed it. It splurges all over her face. And I was thinking, good, that means she's covered. And then when she runs back to the others, I was like, oh, good, hopefully he can run into them again and, get Abigail and Nick covered as well. But it didn't. It just ended up being Kaitlyn. So,
well, that's good that Kaitlyn's got an extra layer of protection. That might bite me in the ass that I don't have that. But obviously, we'll see. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So, I suppose, unless you have any other thoughts, mate, we can move on to Dylan and Ryan.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to go to them.
So yeah, and then obviously we go over to Dylan and Ryan, and they're taking a walk up to the camp lodges area. I think that's what it's called. And they're just having a bit of a chit chat. I think Dylan's telling him how he wants to go into physics or something, and Ryan's a bit like, oh, I didn't really see you as a science guy. And I think they're just honestly trying to develop these two as a couple. And if I'm being honest, at this point, I'm not really buying it. I'm buying it on Dylan's side. I'm not buying it on Ryan's side. And that could be because of the choices that I've made. This relationship feels a little bit forced for me. That might be a bit controversial to some of you, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, you walk up to this area, and there's a few things I found in this area that I'll be interested to see if you did as well, mate. So, first of all, being a nurse letter, which was tucked away between a couple of the lodges. It basically details that Chris basically told the campus, the nurse on the campus, to leave a day earlier or to come a day later or something like that. Presumably because he knows that it's a full moon, that he's going to be the wolf, because let's face it, we're running with this at this point. Like, it's pretty much confirmed. And, I don't know how it ended up outside, but it ended up out there regardless. Another thing I found as well is a trap. There was a trap down by the side of the swimming pool, and I'm pretty sure I activated it as well, so that, I don't know, I just imagine that there'd be a sequence later on where you could potentially get a character stuck or something, so I made sure that was out of the way. And then the last thing was the claw marks that were up against the building, which when I was there as Abigail earlier on, they definitely were not there. Actually think as well, I think there might have been a tarot card around the side of that building as well that I grabbed. So yeah, anything on that, mate? Did you get all them bits as well?
All of that bar the trap. So yeah, I managed to get the tarot card. Another lucky thing for me as well, because we're recovering that area where I didn't get those previous clues with Abby, I could get them with Dylan. So I found the vial, I found, the camp recordings, all that stuff. So yeah, pretty good actually. But yeah, I never found the trap. But yeah, climax and tarot card with the hermit. So yeah, that was all good. And I know what you mean about the Dylan Ryan relationship. They're not two of my favorite characters, so naturally I don't really care for them anyway. They are pretty shoehorned together. I do understand that. But yeah, it's fun to have these scenes that, they're very different. One's obviously quite quirky and, playful. The other one's very serious and, kind of introverted. So yeah, they're a nice contrast to the rest of the cast. But yeah, there's not much else to build on what you've said, mate. Yeah, like, did you have the radio tower sequence? Or, I say radio tower sequence because it's just so, again, shadowing Until Dawn, isn't it? There's another pair that go off to, warn people via a radio signal, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got to admit, because again, if you're listening, we are actually slightly further ahead in the game, but we are sort of looking at this on a slightly retrospective thing. I think all of the comments that we're making are still within the time parameter that we were playing, but I know I said, was it in the last one or the previous one? There is definitely shadows of Until Dawn. I'm noticing it more and more and more now, and I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. But I'll come to that in a later episode, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, you have this sequence with Dylan and Ryan, and they're working out how to send like a signal to someone, and he does do that, I think, but whether it's on the same wave, like radio wavelength as Jedediah, because they can then hear their voices over the thing, and they know that they know where they are, so they're thinking, fuck, we've got to get out of here. And this is an interesting bit for me. So like, Ryan's looking out the window and he straight up sees the werewolf, right? Now, when they say, fuck, we need to get out of here, Dylan then runs straight outside, sees the wolf, and he's like, blimey, and then he runs back in and he's like, Ryan, why didn't you say anything? I think it then gave me a choice, but I was wondering if they have a better relationship, whether Ryan outright tells Dylan before he runs outside. Was that something that happened for you, or did it play out the same way as me?
Played out the same way, and for me, they're pretty friendly. Like, their relationship must be around the max point, so I think it might be something that can't be avoided. But I must say, actually, I really like Miles Robbins' acting here as Dylan. When he sees the wolf and he comes in and he's panicking. Yeah, I just have to say a little compliment to Miles Robbins there, because I thought that was like really well played. I really bought into his like fear there.
Why didn't you tell me there was something out there?
I've got to be honest, I think it's one of the stronger performances in the game. I think there's no real bad performances from what I can recall so far, but for me, I think Dylan, you know what he's about. His character is very there in your face, and I think the performance is a long way to demonstrating that, really. So I think he's definitely up there in terms of like the best characters. So of course, yeah, there's this werewolf outside, and it's walking on the roof, isn't it? They're thinking, oh, how the hell we're going to get out of here? And you spot Kaitlyn, Nick, and Abby outside, and that's when Dylan gets on the sort of tannoy system and says, guys, get inside. And it actually works out that you broke into the thing earlier on, because it means that they have easy access into that lodge, which I quite liked, because that is actually on one of the pathways. And then you come to like this massive point where Dylan says, oh, the power's gone, the wire needs to be fixed, and he climbs up. Obviously the werewolf then grabs his arm or bites his arm, and he comes down. He just straight off the bat knows, isn't he, probably because of Nick, he's like, it needs to be cut off. So even without seeing the premonition, when the choice come up, chainsaw, shotgun, I went straight for the chainsaw, purely because like the shotgun, when it's spread and stuff, it might not work. So yeah, what about you? Chainsaw, shotgun?
It has to be chainsaw. Shotgun just seemed ludicrous, right? Like, it sprays, right? I mean, even like everyone knows that, but also it's told that to you. So I don't think it would take the arm off, and even if it did, it would probably take more than you need to anyway. So yeah, like it was every day of the week it was going to be chainsaw, and I thought to myself, like, this like scene would probably make me wince, and it probably would for a lot of games. But I don't know why. I swear there's just been a few video games where this has been a thing now with the Walking Dead game, Heavy Rain, that I'm kind of just like shrugging, like, yeah, bring it on, another body dismember. I'm getting accustomed to these now.
It is true, and it sort of, again, it reminds of Until Dawn, you know, with like Mike having to, you know, remove his finger as well. So obviously another parallel to comment on. But it's funny, this particular scene, because obviously I've been playing this in the front room, right? And like Laura's not seen any of it. She walked in earlier on before she headed out. And this was the scene that she saw. Like, she just saw me pick up the chainsaw and like cut the guy's arm off. She was like, "Oh my god!" So I think I was like, quite an introduction to the game. Like, of all the scenes that you could possibly see, this was like the most goriest one yet.
Yeah. At least it wasn't like Jacob fucking a watermelon or pelvic thrusting a phone.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. So, I mean, going on from here, obviously they create the noise, don't they? And it's something that we've said already. That, by the way, quick side, I think our sort of guesses and that are pretty spot on. To be honest.
We've done really well so far in terms of guessing. Like, we always knew Chris was going to be a wolf. I kind of figured like Nick would turn. Yeah, like a lot of the predictions have come true. But yeah, another point I wanted to mention, actually, you know the bit where you used the tannoy to guide everyone into that lodge? At the time, I totally forgot breaking in would benefit. I thought they went in there, and I was like, oh no, my god, we've broken the door. A wolf's going to be able to get in there. I was looking at that like negatively. But then I also thought, because Abby removed the teddy bear, I wondered if she leaves it, does the teddy bear activate in there and give away their position? So I was like wondering if that's a possibility. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking too far into it. But yeah, I thought that would be an interesting way for things to play out.
You never know. It might have been. It might play into it. We'll only find out when we do a future playthrough. But yeah, so like going back to what I said, obviously they scare the wolf off, and they then sort of all congregate again outside. And you know what I do like about this game is that I think with Until Dawn they're very conscious of splitting you off into pairs, and I think because this game it's mostly been a 7 that you're playing with, right? Like 7 characters.
Yeah.
There's always been like a 3 or a 4 together, which I quite like. They've not sort of obsessed with splitting everyone off in various different locations all at once. So I have liked that. But then yeah, like this weird scene happens that even when it finished, I didn't quite know what went on. There's a quick bit of movement, a couple of shots, and they then see this dead body, or you see this girl with an eye patch originally, and I was thinking, who the hell's that? And then the next thing you know is you see this dead body in the water, and I was thinking, what the bloody hell's happened here? And then it sort of cuts to black on that particular chapter. But you did figure something out, didn't you, mate, about this particular bit?
Yeah, I mean, I was so equally confused. I left you a voice note. I think I just was like, Jack, I finished chapter 5 and I don't know what's happened. Basically, a girl's come out of an eye patch. I think it's Laura. It looks like her. She shot someone. There's a dead body in the pool. It skipped to Eliza. Eliza said someone's dead. Now I think I've lost a character, but I don't quite know what happened. It was almost so rushed that I was confused. I was like, did one of mine die? I just was so weirded out. But yeah, the thing I did clock on it is it was Laura. I've always said that I think Laura's going to end up being my favourite character. I fell in love with her with the prologue, and I was like, why is she wearing an eye patch? But that must be her. And obviously a few chapters down the line we'll learn what it is. But yeah, I mean, I was so confused. I think it's all explained in the next chapter, so I'm, happy to put a pin on it now in case you are watching this podcast one by one with the chapters as you play. So I'm not going to kind of go into it. But yeah, I'm happy to move on to Eliza if there's any other points that, I've missed there.
No, absolutely. Take it away, mate. Crack on with Eliza.
Yeah, I mean, I only found the one totem here, mate. Tarot, in the Hermit, which was, Dylan finding it around the building there. Was there another one that you found?
Honestly, can't remember. Honestly,
Right.
I definitely found the Hermit. I'm pretty sure I did find the next one after that, but I can't remember if it was the one before that I was missing. But
of course,
it might have been that chapter, or it might have been the next chapter. But I see what you mean. Like, I did find both tarot cards, and I saw like you have to choose one, don't you?
Yeah.
I generally can't remember. I'll have to look on the menu and see whether I have found it or not.
That's all right. I mean, I found the Hermit, and essentially what I saw in there was Jacob getting, shirtless out in the woods, getting his foot stuck in a bear trap.
Right. Yeah.
So I was looking at that like, oh god, okay, gotta be careful with Jacob in the woods, and pretty open-minded. Maybe that's something that can't be avoided, but I just took that in my mind going forward. Wasn't like the greatest help because it's not like a choice thing like the fireworks were, but still, whatever I can get.
Yeah, okay then. I mean, so we are actually at the halfway point of playing this game. I mean, I suppose you've had enough time now to see the characters, the story, the general fit, the way things are playing out. It's a successor to Until Dawn. What are your half-time thoughts on the Quarry, mate?
Pretty delighted no one's died off so far. At least I think so anyway. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. There's bits about it which I am very much like, I think I prefer Until Dawn for that. But in terms of just a game, it's been worth the wait. Supermassive Games, just absolutely brilliant. The graphics are fantastic. It's quite difficult to say at this point because I don't quite know who has plot armor, who doesn't, how linear this game actually might be. It's one of those ones where you really have to kind of backpedal and look at all these different branches to truly see the magnificence of it. But right now, I'm just really enjoying and cherishing the ride. I'm having a lot of fun with it. How about yourself, mate?
Yeah, very much the same. I do like some of the things that I really liked about this game at the start were like the little nods to Until Dawn, but just how different it was. Like, it does feel, because it's summer, the use of music, I come back to that, it gives it an entirely more fresh feel about it. Even the writing and the characters, I can't really complain about. I think the performances are strong. I think, there's the odd cheesy line and stuff, but that's to be expected in these sorts of games. But on the whole, it feels a lot more natural in sort of like the witty dialogue and the back and forth between characters. So on the whole, I'm enjoying it. Like you said, it's unfair to compare with Until Dawn at this point fully, because we know next to everything with Until Dawn. We don't know half the things to do with the Quarry, but it will be interesting, like down the line when we do know everything, to do sort of like a debate or like a general comparison as to what's the better game.
Yeah, no, of course, definitely, mate. We happy to wrap it up there?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, that was the analysis for Chapter 5 of The Quarry, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it. Of course, the usual, please give us your comments. We really enjoy reading them. And if you'd like to hit a like on this video, it'd be very much appreciated. Until next time in Chapter 6, we'll see you then.
Yeah, see you for the second half, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Sub, share, smash that like button. The Holy Trinity.